Hi, I am Shashank Prabhu, the Chief National Mentor at IMS, and in this video I will try to take you along the journey of preparing for CAT. If you are someone who has not started preparing for CAT, or if this is your first attempt, then this segment should be of use to you. If you have clicked on the link, it tells me that you are a curious individual, and that is a very important trait when it comes to cracking the test. If you look at the test in its entirety, it comprises of three sections. The first section being verbal ability and reading comprehension, the second section being data interpretation and logical reasoning, and the third section being quantitative ability. At a broad level, when it comes to the verbal ability and reading comprehension section, you are expected to be good at reading comprehension passages, spotting the odd sentence out in a scrambled paragraph, unscrambling a paragraph which does not make sense upfront, and also paragraph summary questions. The basic thing that you will have to do to excel at the VARC section is to read a lot. Now this reading could be in a lot of different forms. It could be in the form of reading newspaper articles, say listicles, even editorials for that matter, fiction novels, non-fiction books, forum discussions. It could be anything and everything under the sun. You should be a curious individual and you should be reading a lot of things if you are to get better at the VARC section. Going ahead, if you look at the various passages from the CAT over the last many years, you will see that there have been a lot of different things that have been asked, or there have been a lot of concepts that have been covered in these passages. These concepts include very abstract concepts like, say, democracy, for example, or something like anarchy, or you could say something like the marshmallow theory that exists wherein you are delaying gratification, and all such kinds of concepts. Now, if you are someone who has read across the various sources that I mentioned earlier, you should be in good stead to understand what exactly is the passage talking about. Whereas, if you are not someone who reads a lot, it will be very difficult for you to latch onto a fresh idea and do justice to the passage. You would want to read editorials and news articles from sources like, say, the Hindu, the Economic Times, the Mint, and so on. Going ahead, you can also refer to sources like the Arts and Letters Daily, wherein you will get a collection of essays or articles from concepts like, say, history, geography, polity, economics, art, literature, and so on. You can also refer to sources like Project Syndicate, wherein you will get a collection of editorials. If you are not into reading novels and books at all, you can start with authors like, say, Agatha Christie, Ruskin Bond, Dan Brown, Bill Bryson, P.G. Wodehouse, and the like. This will enable you to read faster and better and will keep you in good stead when it comes to reading larger passages. Also, you would like to pay attention to basic grammatical concepts like, say, parallelism, tenses, subject-verb agreement, antecedent pronoun, and so on. Now, these concepts are not directly tested at the CAT, but you will find them useful in various other non-CAT tests like, say, the IFT, the XAT, the SNAP, the NMAT, and the CET. Also, in CAT, if you are good at spotting grammatical connectors, then it will be very important in terms of cracking jumbled paragraph based questions. So, although this particular concept of grammar is beyond the scope of CAT, you will find it useful going ahead in your preparation. There is also the part of vocabulary, which again is not directly relevant to the CAT, but if you know certain specific terms and have a working knowledge of concepts, then you will find it easier to grasp complicated topics when it comes to the reading comprehension passages. When it comes to the LRDI section, the more CAT level sets you practice, the better will you be in terms of logic. Now, in your brain, the more logic you develop and the more things you are able to grasp, the better will your brain react to surprises. And that is essentially the essence of this entire section. Because in LRDI, you are going to see sets which you would not have seen otherwise. And to react to these sets in a positive manner under the pressure of a timer, it requires you to be good at a lot of different things. Now, what you can do in terms of core prep is, you can go through the classroom exercises that we have, the practice exercises that you would be getting, and graduate slowly towards the SimCATs. Now, the SimCATs will have the gold standard in terms of the LRDI that is required to crack the CAT. In addition to solving proper CAT level sets, you might also want to build a repertoire of logic puzzles, including the Sudoku, Kakuro, Kakurasu, Hitori, Hidato, Tower of Hanoi, Bulls and Cows, and the like. So whenever you get a free time period of say 5 minutes or 10 minutes, it would be a good idea to look at these puzzles and get better at many of them. Because over the last few years, we have seen that CAT has consciously asked questions which are based on these concepts. So there was a question in CAT 2021 which required you to understand the basic principle of Kakuro. There was a set in CAT 17 which required you to know the basics of chess. So if you know these puzzles well, you would be in a better stead to crack these particular sets when it comes to the D-Day. For the quant section, you will have to focus on the topics of arithmetic, algebra, geometry, modern math and number theory. Over the last few years, we have observed that CAT is primarily asking questions from arithmetic and algebra. So if you are someone who is an absolute beginner and who is not very good at math, you might want to focus on these areas first to build some confidence. As we move ahead along the journey, the whole idea should be to get a working knowledge of all the major and even moderately major concepts that you can see across these areas. There is a question that a lot of you will have as to how to retain so much of data that you would be covering over the next few months. For that, I have a couple of suggestions. The first thing that you can do is you can develop a formula booklet, and the second thing is obviously something wherein you will have a list of questions that you find interesting. Now, how exactly to maintain these two documents and how exactly to maintain these lists is completely up to you. You can either maintain a couple of physical notebooks in which you write everything by hand. So although it's a cumbersome journey, some of you might actually be interested in doing it that way. You can also put them in the form of a presentation. You can build a PPT with the screenshots or the images of the concepts and the questions you find interesting, and you can develop these two presentations. You can also use modern age tools like say an Evernote or even something like a Notion or even something as simple as a single person WhatsApp group wherein you keep on clicking and storing things as you move along. You can keep on referring to these couple of resources every 3 to 4 days. Now what it will do is it will help you retain things in a better manner. It will help you recall things in a better manner. The other thing that it will help you with is to maintain consistency in terms of your preparation, because it is very easy to have inertia set in, procrastinate a bit and then realize that you have wasted 3 or 4 days of your time, which is a significant amount if you look at it in the overall context. So if you keep on referring to these notes and you keep on referring to these lists that you have prepared every 3 or 4 days, for every stretch of 3 or 4 days that you have not done anything, it will show you a mirror and you can resume with your preparation with more vigor. You should ideally finish off your theoretical concepts latest by the end of July. That is essentially the time when the CAT notification comes out, and then you will have more clarity in terms of what the test is going to look like. Post the end of July, your preparation will focus mostly on solving as many SimCATs as you can, taking sectionals, timing yourself and getting better in terms of question identification. So at this point in time, you are someone who has probably a section level awareness of what your strengths and weaknesses are. But going ahead, you have to understand that you have to get extremely good at question level analysis, or in terms of identifying that which questions are the ones that you will be able to solve comfortably and which questions are the ones that you will not be able to solve comfortably in the given amount of time. If you have had experience preparing for the CAT, then you would know what exactly lies on the journey ahead. By now, I hope you know what exactly went wrong in your previous attempt or attempts, and you are well equipped to deal with it in a better manner. The commonly faced reasons why people would not have done well at the CAT in the previous attempts would be: 1. You could have not started your preparation at all owing to various reasons. The second thing could have been that you started your preparation but you were not able to take it forward, or you could not gather momentum. There was some inertia that set in at various points in time and it was a journey riddled with speed breakers. Or you would not have been taught concepts in a good manner in your school days, or you would not have learned concepts in a good manner while you were preparing for the test. It might have also happened that you knew the concepts but you were simply not able to apply those concepts in different scenarios. Or simply put, you would not have had mentorship to guide you along the way when you are preparing for the test. Now, if you know what exactly went wrong, then now is the time that you will start thinking about it in a better manner and work on those insights going ahead. For people who are preparing for the second or the third time when it comes to the CAT, a major focus will be on taking SimCATs well and dealing with mocks in a better manner. You have to be more aggressive when it comes to mock taking. You have to be more motivated, driven when it comes to solving questions, and you should always be looking at bringing a lot of energy to a preparation. So that is one thing that I see a lot of people miss out on when it comes to repeating for the CAT. Contrary to the popular opinion, it does not make sense for you to leave your job and prepare for the CAT. CAT is not exactly a test of content, but it is rather a test of application, and you putting in more hours in a day will not guarantee success. That's why you should ideally take up a job or stick to your existing job and prepare for CAT alongside. Roughly 3 to 4 hours of preparation on an average per day is enough for you to crack the test. And considering that you would be starting slightly earlier than a lot of people, I'm sure that you are going to do justice to your CAT prep. So do not think about leaving your job, because it also leads to a scenario wherein you might be asked in your interview as to why should the panelists select you over someone else who has prepared and has worked simultaneously. So to avoid that entire conjecture, to avoid that entire situation, it's better for you to either take up a job or continue with your existing job and not leave that job unless it becomes extremely difficult for you to handle everything together. If you have bandwidth left after your college or office work and CAT prep, you can also look at building your CV to get better at a specialization. Now, if you have no idea of what specialization are you going to be good at, you can refer to something from the literature. You can read books along the lines of the 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing, or say Hooked, or something like a Super Pumped. You can also read something like No Rules, Rules, The Smartest Guys in the Room. You can also read books along the lines of the McKinsey Way or the Six Sigma Way. Now, these will help you understand the specializations in a better manner, and you will be better equipped to go ahead and do the certifications that you would be interested in. Some of the popular certifications that people go for would be something along the lines of digital marketing or market research, marketing strategy, financial accounting, financial modeling, derivatives, and so on. So if you are interested in a particular specialization, you can go ahead and do some certification that will enhance your claim on that particular seat in your dream college. The brain is a wonderful organ which thrives on confidence, and the more preparation you do, the better you will be in terms of providing this confidence to your brain. At some point in time, if you feel demotivated or you feel reluctant going ahead with your attempt, you can again rely on literature along the lines of, say, Atomic Habits or Barking Up the Wrong Tree or the Procrastination Equation. In case you get stuck and you need someone to talk to, you can always get in touch with your IMS mentor, and they would be ready for a My Plan slot wherein they will discuss these problems and will come up with solutions along with you. If you liked this video, do consider giving us a thumbs up. If you feel that this video is going to be beneficial to someone you know, feel free to share this video with that person. And if you have some doubt or query that you would want us to address, put your comment in the section below and we will get back to you. Thank you for staying till the end. Here's wishing you all the best with your prep.